Pumpkin are my passion, so here's a recipe for a fluffy, cloud-like and incredibly spicy rolls with pumpkin orange filling. I'm Violet, let's cook with me. I have some pumpkin left, so I'll cut it into cubes for the filling. Also need 100 grams of sugar, 50 grams of water, a little cinnamon and salt, and finally zest or one orange. Pour all the ingredients I've listed into a deep frying pan or a bowl with a thick bottom. I'm gonna stew the filling until it looks like a confiture, or in other words, jam with pieces. Put the pan on a medium heat and begin to stir the pumpkin mass. First the butter will melt and then the pumpkin will soften. Stir the filling for 10-15 minutes until it becomes like a pure but with the pumpkin pieces. In other words, it shouldn't be completely smooth. After cooking, chill it to room temperature before using. While the filling is cooling, let's make our base. To do this, break one medium egg into a deep bowl. Warning, all ingredients must be warm. Add 50 grams of sugar to the egg. "160 milliliters of warm milk will help the yeast swell well. And here it is, by the way, crumb 10 grams of yeast to the bowl. Stir everything thoroughly with a whisk until the sugar and yeast dissolve. This is so important because it will determine how well the dough rises. Periodically check if the sugar has dissolved. Yeast and sugar have dissolved, and now we can add the flour. We only need 360 grams of it. Sift it through a fine sieve to saturate it with oxygen for extra fluffiness of the buns. Start mixing the flour with one ingredient, and at this stage you can add a little salt. It's better to do this at the end so that the yeast doesn't deactivate. After that, continue kneading the dough. You need to form a fairly solid ball of dough, but at the same time it still sticks to the spatula. At this point, you can start kneading on the table. Place the dough on a lightly floored surface and begin kneading intensively with a spatula. You can do this with your hands, but the spatula is more convenient for picking up the dough, especially in the first stage when it's still a little sticky. The first kneading will take about 10 minutes until the dough sticks to your hands and to the table. Now is the perfect time to add 35 grams of butter. Put it on the top and begin to knead the butter into the almost finished dough. This kneading may take you about 15-20 minutes. If you have a dough mixer, then you are lucky, and all these processes will take less time. The dough should turn out like this, smooth and slightly oily on top. Grease the bowl well with olive oil, put a wonderful dough in it. Cover the bowl with a food wrap and place it in a warm place for 1-2 hours to rise. It should increase in volume by 2-2.5 times. Wow, the dough has risen as a cloud. I need to divide it into 9 equal parts. I've made it behind the camera. One bowl weighs about 70 grams. The filling has cooled down nicely, so now I can make my fluffy buns. How do I do that? Take a ball of dough and roll it out into a small circle with a rolling pin, as you can see on the screen. Then take a level tablespoon of pumpkin filling, place it in the center, and pinch the bun nicely so that there are no holes. Pinch the seam of the bun especially well so that it doesn't crack. That's it, I need to make 9 of these buns. I'll show you how to do this again. I take another ball of dough and roll it out. Don't roll it out too thin because then the dough may crack and the filling will come out. Roll it out just a little, put a tablespoon of filling in the center and pinch the bun well. I'll make the remaining sand buns off camera. I'll bake the buns in 20 cm square metal shape. Line the bottom with a parchment paper and grease the sides of the shape well with a butter. Now place all the buns neatly in the shape. They will stick to each other, which is perfectly normal. We disturb our dough and the yeast doesn't like that. Therefore, we need to let the buns rise in a warm place for about 40 minutes. Great, the buns have risen nicely. Before baking, grease them with a mixture of 1 egg yolk and 2 tablespoons of milk. This will prevent the buns from burning and give them a crispy crust on top. Bake the buns in a preheated to 175 degrees oven for 35–40 minutes. Oh my, what a golden and fragrant beauty they turn out to be. I'm going to eat them hot with tea right now because I can't wait any longer. By the way, instead of pumpkin filling, you can use chocolate paste or jam or even whole berries. They're so tender, I can't resist. That's all for today. More recipes every Friday. See you next time. Big hug, yours Violet.